What's up, 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 what's up? You steady steppers. Let's go, let's grow, let's go, let's grow. Welcome back to another episode of the Steady Stepping Podcast. Each and every episode, we always look to bring value. We always look to just really talk and learn something from the conversation. So, we got another special guest today. We got Mrs. Brown.
What's up, guys? What's up, Steady Steppers? What's going on?
So, Mrs. Brown, she's a very, very, very special lady. And shout out to her for coming on the Steady Stepping Podcast today. She is going to be having an amazing conversation with us today. So, today we're going to be talking about communication as a superpower. What y'all think about that one? What do you think they think about that?
I think it can be if used right. I think it could be an evil superpower if used wrong. So, yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, your communication skills are going to be used only for the betterment of you and everybody that you're communicating with. But we know what we're up against at the same time. So, we're going to go ahead and drop that RGC commercial in right here. Boom. No job too big or small. Just call RGC, Chief Operating Officer of RGC. If you need any property preservation or management done or grading or construction, let us know. We are definitely here and happy to serve you. Let's go. Let's be great. Let's go, y'all. Now that we got RGC already through the flow, like I said, today's topic is going to be speaking about the communication as a superpower. And the three topics that we're going to talk about within that actual conversation is, what is the difference between speaking and communicating, body language and tone, and how it affects communication, and 4 amazing steps that you can use for strategic communication to help you get your point across. So let's go ahead and roll into this show. The first topic is, what is the difference between speaking and communicating? And when we're speaking about this topic, we're going to speak from our perception and how we've used these things to be better. So how about yourself?
Okay, so speaking is me just trying to express what it is that I'm thinking, me just talking out loud, telling you what I believe's in here. If I think it's green, blue, orange, red, that's just me just speaking. And then me communicating is me literally trying to get you to understand or even see the image that I'm seeing in my brain. Like I want to say it's a blue car and I want you to know the exact kind of blue it is. Royal blue, light blue, dark blue. Like I want you to see the same blue that I see when I'm communicating. So speaking, communicating, that's
how you see it.
That's the separation for me. What do you got?
Well, to me, speaking is like, sometimes you could just be saying words because you're angry. Or you could just be talking and you want people to hear you, but not necessarily feel you. You want to express your point, but it's like, I'm speaking so I feel better, so I get off my chest.
Right.
But communication, I definitely agree with you on the point of being able to explain something for somebody else to grasp and then use for their betterment. Or to be able to take something like a teaching lesson and I break it down, like last week when I was talking about the trail mix thing. I feel like so that was a level of communication that I like to use because it's something that we all know about first, and then we know it's different steps in it. So we use the different steps to make it applicable to what it is that we need to get done. And then that be the overall way to communicate the point that I need to get across.
Okay.
So that's how I feel like, that's what I feel like the difference between speaking and communication is. Communication is being able to really break things down to a point to get whoever your ideal audience is to really grasp the message and what you're trying to teach them or get them to, I guess, realize or see from your perspective.
Yeah, because you don't want to have to be teaching anybody anything. You just want them to kind of follow along. Know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So I definitely feel like that is, because a lot of times people feel like they communicate when they're speaking, but we don't. Like, I used to. Ooh, you got a thought? I feel like you had a thought.
I was just gonna say, some of us do. No, I
Well,
don't need to say that.
you know what? She right. Some of us do. Me, sometimes I don't always communicate exactly what I'm speaking. So, for instance, I may say, I want to go outside. That's what I'm speaking. But my communication is like, man, I don't really want to because I'm laying my butt to bed. So my body language through communication is like, you don't really want to go outside. But my mouth, in an instance, is speaking, yeah, I do want to go outside because it's nice outside.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's why they said there's layers to it. Like, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, but it's also what you do and the energy you put behind it and who you say it to and when you're saying it and how loud you say it. Like, there's
levels to it.
Sauce,
and it's a lot of layers to it. Like, and communication with body language is a big thing that I feel like is, for me, not at the forefront of my mind. And that rolls us into our next topic of body language and tone and how it affects communication.
Okay.
So that body language we were just talking about, a lot of times body language is going to speak louder than our words. And then you put the tone with it too. That can make a situation real spicy real quick.
I've been in a lot of trouble, and that's not even what I said. That's exactly what I meant. So.
What do you feel like got you in that situation when you said it was what you said, but you meant something different?
Especially when it comes to people who get to understand your body language, it can be on both ends of the spectrum. It can be people who think they know you, and it can be people who don't know you from anything. Mm-hmm. And just the energy, that the eyebrows that I can give, the eyes that I can give, and I can be saying thank you, and they know for sure that I am not saying thank you. So, and that can be from them really just reading me because they've been in the world and they can read people, and that can be from them knowing me and reading me and saying, that's not what you meant to me. Like you just did a couple moments ago. Like you can, at a point, it's readable. It's a superpower and it's a curse.
Man, look at all of it instead of one part of it. You're able to really get a true grasp of the overall message that they're really trying to articulate to you. So if I've become more observant with learning different styles of communication between people and amongst myself. Mm-hmm. So I've learned to listen to their frequency, like the tone in which they're speaking. Like if it's more of an excited tone, and they're addressing a situation, then I look at their body language to see if are they being defensive about the conversation, or they're more like relaxed about the conversation, or if it's a more chill tone, it's a more chill situation that we're coming to communicate about, but then they're like kind of aggressive about it, like. And then sometimes with communication, I feel like through each one of our perception, right?
Okay.
Somebody can communicate the same message, but different people will receive it differently.
Of course.
And that's when you talked about the eyebrows part. Like, for me, sometimes when somebody's attempting to communicate or speak to me, I'll look at their body language and hear their tone. Mm-hmm. And I may see it as if they are being a little, I guess, more aggressive in communication style. And then I kind of think back and look at it like, are they being aggressive, or are you just taking it a little aggressively? Because we know sometimes, right, a lot of people just be on defense. They may be on edge sometimes. Maybe on edge for that day. Something may have happened. Or they just may naturally take a defensive mode of communication. Like, oh, everybody's always coming at me with what they're trying to say to me or something, you know?
No, I understand that. Like it's like it's like working in a garage versus working in an office building. In a garage, somebody takes your tools and it's missing. You might be able to say, "Oh, beep this, beep that." You know, you might be able to say that, and it's cool. No one's really like that's just how everyone's speaking in the garage. That's the energy of working in a garage. If you go into an office building, you're not saying beep this and beep that. You're not saying that. Maybe a shucks, maybe a darn it, a darn tootin'.
Cordial curse words.
You know what I'm saying? My damn printer's missing, darn it. You know, you get one damn a week. But you're not, so it's just they're saying the same thing, you know what I'm saying? And it can be it can be an office full of guys and a warehouse and a garage full of guys. It just matters that just the space that they're in calls for a different energy. Right. So the guy in the office space, he's no beeping for him. Yeah.
So with you being like in the opportunity of different environments to have different communication styles, like what have you learned like has really helped you develop the way in which you communicate?
I'll be honest. So I've come from a lot of corporate kind of situations, just a lot of situations where it's very suit and tie, very cordial, very spell everything correctly. There's no beeps happening out here. Maybe in the law offices during, meetings, but aside from that, it's very clean cut. But in this current position that I'm in, I'd say it's definitely closer to the garage. I'd say closer to the garage. So there's a lot more beeping, and I want to say when people are expressing stuff, they usually just express things the same way. Like people, sometimes you just have to drop a beep, and sometimes some people drop too many beeps. But when everyone's trying to express things, they're usually pretty cordial. So that's what I've experienced. Even though I'm closer to the garage and I thought that world would consist just of more beeps and curses and throwing stuff and just manly stuff. The guys they're still cordial people. They still want to communicate in the best way. They still want to get what it is that they're trying to get across so they can get what they need from you back. So, yeah, so that's something that I've noticed and I'm happy for that. Like, maybe I have bigger words or different words or they have different words or some that I haven't interacted with yet. But when we're trying to express them to each other, we know the frequency to get to. So that's what I've noticed. Like people know the frequency to get to when they want to communicate. Not always the same verbiage, but they know the frequency to communicate.
So, okay, I like how you said the frequency, right? So with the communication style with you that you've noticed about yourself, how important is it to be able to bring it to a frequency of reaching you? Or like, okay, say for instance one of the supporters in the audience are like, I can't seem to communicate with a certain individual.
Okay.
What is it that you've noticed that is able to get you, or what have you learned that can help you neutralize the situation to be able to get to a commonality to communicate? Like if the person they're trying to communicate with is like always angry and aggressive. Okay.
I want to say being angry and aggressive is being on the defensive from my perspective. If you're aggressive, you're just ready to lash out. And if you're trying to communicate with someone on that level, you have to bring them to what is a relatable level, which would be a safe level, which would also be a consistent level. So just consistently be nice to them. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you're literally trying to like lull someone into being out of their safe zone, which is always the angry and aggressive, to being on a level with you. So for you to present that level, you would have to present it consistently. So just keep presenting the level that you want to meet them on. Unless you want to meet them on their level, which I don't feel like you do. Keep presenting just a actual respectable level that you don't have to be too nice. You just gotta be real and continue to present what you're presenting. Unless you're presenting something bad, then go away.
Man. And that's that. To be able to do that, you definitely get to develop yourself because
you can get some thick skin.
Yeah, facts. Because a lot of times, right, you don't really know how it is that somebody's going to receive your message. So you get to say, okay, let's look at it from the perspective of the person that I'm wanting to communicate with.
All right.
If they're already in the defensive, how can I be able to get them to a headspace to realize this person doesn't want to bring any negligence or harm to me. They want to help me. I feel like that also takes a level of patience.
Yes, yeah.
A level of
consistency, yeah.
Definitely consistency. Like, and then a level of compassion for them. In a sense to say somebody before communicated with them that put them in this mode or this energy.
Yeah.
So let me be a offset to that in a positive light. And I feel like when you go in with that perspective and that mindset, the energy and the spirit that needs to come through you to be able to articulate your message to that person on the other side will come in an energy space of, okay, let's change the frequency between both of us so we can come to a common ground now. Exactly. Because with intentionality, I feel like comes determination when you put the action with it. You know, because when you give your mind something that it hasn't handled before, you give it to it long enough, it's definitely going to plant a seed. I mean, it's definitely going to grow a tree that will bear some fruit that everybody can feast on.
Because you want them subconscious fruit. Like when you planting that seed, you want it to be that in the back of your mind. But when you want it to bear, you want it like to bear in your actions. You want it to bear in the things that you speak. Like, you know, like mantras are supposed to help quell that little thing that says you look fat today. No, I don't. I look cute today. I look good. I look good today. And that's the fruit. That's the fruit from that seed that you're planting in the back of your mind.
That's facts. That's the communication within self. That's a feeling and thought of communication within self that then will blossom out from within. Because we know when you tell yourself or when your thoughts are attempting to make your conscious mind believe that, then your actions will see that, and then you'll do things like eat something you probably know you shouldn't be doing when you busting that weight now. Just not being as intentional with your actions of working out, not being active in finding new ways to create better disciplinary habits for you to keep that weight off. But all that come back to the communication. Like, what are you really telling yourself on the inside when you're not feeling the best? Like when you may have that little thought twinkle in, that positive communication that you've gotten from these other sources of, you're not fat, you look great. You're looking better than what you did before you started the journey. We're getting better at knocking this weight off. We're getting better at keeping this weight off. These are the different seeds that we get to plant through those times of positivity. These are the things you get to communicate within yourself, because remember, our cells are always listening through the words that we're speaking. So not only do you get to learn how to communicate better with other beings in the universe like her and I, you first learn to communicate better to yourself. And the reason I love to speak now more than ever, because I learned the value of words, one, but I say things out loud that I 9 times out of 10 want to hear somebody else say to me, or things that I would just want to hear heard out loud from the other things that I've interacted with, like the speeches, the motivational talks that I listen to, the different audios and podcasts. They're speaking things of positivity, and those things are reprogramming the way I look at life. The things that you're speaking are reprogramming the way you look at life. Like, her and I both met each other in a new phase of communication within ourselves as well as throughout life. Wouldn't you say?
I concur.
I would say it was very, very interesting in the style of communication in which our interaction unfolded. Most definitely, because I was at a new phase in life. She was at a new phase in life. And we were both just learning to use words for what they were really, really meant to be used for, and that is to create a vision that is so clear that a 3rd grader can see it, and putting the words together so that they're painted perfectly, so there is no gray spot, only a spot of, okay, I felt what you meant right there, but let me be double, quadruple certain. Like, not a gray spot of, damn, I missed something, but a bright spot of, damn, did you really mean that? Like, can I take that from that, or was my brain going overreach? So,
okay,
what do you think about it? Based on the experience that we've been a part of together, and communicated.
For me, in the meeting of this gentleman, I was communicating in the complete opposite way that I'd been communicating, I'd say, for like the last 20 odd something years. I was just in a time where I'm just like, I'm just gonna make it up as like, you know, there's those people who can they're just making it up as they go along. They can get any job. They can talk to anyone. They can meet your parents. They can go speak with the president. They can speak to anyone. Yeah. Carry convo. No sweat off of their brow. They don't care. I wanted to be that person. I always wanted to be that person. And so this guy just happened to pop up around the time where I was just like, I'm going to be that person today. So, yeah, he just happened to be there, being that person, and I was just like, I'm this person, and he's like, oh wow, I'm that kind of person too. Just making it up. We're making it up. We're figuring it out in a great way, not freestyling with some research, freestyling, and reading some books when I get back home, and then freestyling again. But yeah, so it was really refreshing to step out on that limb in communication, to like put myself out there, to I don't know, attract the world or build the world I'm trying to build. And this is the guy I met when I decided to go out there. So go outside. There's people like this outside.
And man, and when she says go outside, she means like truly, truly step outside of your comfort zone of communication. And some of the things that are just begging to be said positively, of course. But the things that have lived dormant for so long out of like fear.
Yeah, I was going to even say, when you said positively, like, it's, even if what you're going to say isn't a positive thing, is it going to positively affect you? Because sometimes when you tell someone, like, I don't like something, for them that can be an insult, you know what I'm saying? But now you don't have to deal with that. Hopefully, that changes or begins a domino effect to change what it is that you don't like. But that can positively, like, in the long run, affect you. So, say what's dormant, say what needs to be said. Go outside. I'm going to stick with that phrase. Go outside. That's my phrase now. Go outside.
Go outside. Well, hey, so and when you truly go outside, like, you get to see the world is a lot bigger and brighter than I guess we believed that it was from the inside. What you think? How bright, like, since you've been outside and you've changed your style of communication and also just developed as becoming somebody you've envisioned for so long, like, what is your new perception on reality?
Like, perception is reality, or it is what you make it. Like, all those type of things, facts, literally fact. Like, it's like learning how to swim. Like, the ocean is still big, it's still deep, there's still dolphins, there's still fish, but you know how to tread. Like, you now understand your relevance in it, because you made it so. Like, some people flow on their back, some people Olympic swimmers, some people they need a floaty and they're okay, but you find your motion in the ocean, so to speak, and like, you can just tread there and it feels good. It feels good to be able to float, to communicate. Like, even you don't have to be the strongest, just be there. It's great outside. It's scary sometimes, but it's scary if I allow it to be scary. Like, I try not to think about it being scary. I don't think about that part because I want what's on the other side of the scary, which is whatever it is I'm trying to communicate is on the other side of that scary. So I gotta get up and do that.
I feel it. So when you're like treading, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about the treading. What is treading? What is an example of treading? Like, what does treading look like? What could somebody say? Or if somebody's like, how would I see treading if it's in front of me? Could you let's elaborate on the treading part.
Sure. First day of work and you're going into the office, so maybe you've met your boss and you've met one or two other people, and it's gonna be kind of awkward. They're gonna wonder, who are you and what are you doing here, right? So treading would simply be saying hello first. When you go in and you say hello and you greet everyone, or you say good morning to whoever passes by, or you make eye contact, or you just introduce yourself to one guy so the other guy behind him hears. Like that's treading. That's doing the light work of communication. That's the making yourself being known and then setting the energy of when someone approaches you, what they can expect. That's just treading, setting your energy up in the room. Really, for me, that's the treading.
Dang, because I had a totally different thought of treading.
Well, what do you got?
My thought for treading was kind of just filling out the energy.
Okay.
Filling out the energy in the room, like, kind of not, like, and this is from an old mindset, not being too, like, overly assertive of yourself.
Okay.
But just figuring out, like, what it is that, or like you said, where do you go? Where do you fit in the mix?
Okay.
Like, what is what is going to be your most efficient position in the whole community that you're now becoming a part of that you weren't before.
Okay.
But I like the way you said that, treading, like setting the energy, letting everybody know, hey, I'm such and such, and I'm here to do great things, like, and just really setting energy at a high tone and frequency in which you want to be seen at, because this is a whole new environment. You get what I'm saying? People don't really know who you are until you open your mouth or you do things that then show them who you are in character and in action. So I definitely like that version of treading that you were speaking about, because the version of treading I was thinking about was just like, just.
Oh no, my treading, we in the water. We're getting wet. Like, it's like, you're talking about like being on the beach. Like,
yeah, mine's like sticking your toe in a little bit.
Okay.
And honestly, full transparency, that's the treading that I used to live in for so long, like, because it was that fear of false evidence appearing real. Like, dang, what if I'm not accepted? What if they don't anything negative that I shouldn't even been thinking, because I know how amazing I am on the inside. I just got to become that person that was able to articulate it on the outside. So yeah, her new trading, we was both outside. We was both in the water just swimming. We was swimming like Dory keeps swimming. And then bam, wham, and
just like that. I'm here just like you guys. Just got stumbled upon and was like, hey, you like podcasts?
Yeah. In a sense, but a little bit different. A little bit different. Yeah, so, and that was her style of communication that she decided to use, and she was able to articulate her message very clearly.
I did my best.
So, and even like with her and I, as we develop and continue to develop a great friendship, she's taught me the power of being able to articulate better, and like really being able to go in, okay, so now let's break down what you said about this. Okay, cool. Now let's go down this rabbit hole so we can really figure out better what it is that you're saying. So now that I know how to do what I need to do to be better in life, in this lifetime. Because the thing about communication, even if you're an effective communicator and a person that's listening to it don't want to hear it, it's not going to really even matter. Like, even if it takes root, if they're not willing to fertilize that seed that you planted through their own betterment of communication within their self, like, you can get on the recipe on how to get an amazing body, right? And it's like, boom, you got it. So now you're gonna run the play?
I mean, not if they don't really want to.
Right.
Not if they don't really want to.
Man, and if they don't want to, it's okay. Because guess what? The seed is still there. And one day, guess what's going to happen? That thing going to boop.
They going to do it?
They going to do it. And they going to create that being that it is that they've been seeing for so long on the inside.
You can do it.
Yes.
It's in there and you can bring it out here. You can do it.
Man, like the sun. Because the sun was only an idea. It started as an idea. started as an idea, y'all. These trees, everything started as an idea, and it was communicated through the amazing, abundant universe that's always listening and brought it into reality. So with us learning how to communicate and articulate the things that we really want, that allows them to be manifested in ourselves, that builds up the belief to create the actions to bring it into this dimension. Like even this Tupperware. These Tupperwares was an idea in somebody's brain, like somebody needs something to store their food in outside of pots and pans when they done cooking. So they can wash the pans and make the refrigerator look more organized.
Is that what they used to leave it in? The pots and pans? You just left it in the pot until
it
was done?
Yeah, when it's done, you never did that?
No, I didn't know.
Oh man, yeah, what? And we used to leave put the whole pot in the refrigerator. But then there'd just be a whole bunch of pots in the refrigerator looking crazy. So then somebody had the genius idea, like, we need Tupperware for the people.
That's genius. Why didn't I come up with that?
Because it's something bigger and better for you to come up with.
All right.
Yeah. Things that are already created are building blocks for us to continue to invent and create on. And then be able to communicate to people how it is that it'll be helpful for them. And see, that's amazing because it's going to roll us into our third topic, right? Strategic communication in 4 steps. 4 easy steps. Step 1, identify the goal. Step 2, identify your audience. Step 3, communicate the values of what it is that you want to get across. And then express the need for them, that they need this through communication to make them better. So, we're going to use these Tupperwares as an example of a way to communicate. So we're going to do a little role play, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
So she's my ideal customer, and I'm communicating to her on why she should get this amazing Tupperware that I've now created, right?
Okay.
So we're going to use the art of communication as a superpower to upsell her on buying a whole thing of Tupperwares. So, hello, Miss Brown. How are you today?
Mr. Destine, I'm well. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm well aware that you like to make brownies and sweets and also cook a whole lot.
Very much. That's true.
So, what do you do once you cook all these sweets? If you just want to give them out to people, or you just need to put your food up once you've done cooking, or even store some ingredients? Like
I just slice them up and leave them in the pan.
What you leave them in the pan? Mm-hmm. So how does that make your refrigerator feel and look when you going in there and you're looking for something?
It's cluttered. It's clunky. There's sticky things all over the place. I don't have room for anything.
What? Wow. See, you know what? That's how I know we've been on the same frequency, because your problem is my solution, right? Mm-hmm. So I have these Tupperwares that I have been in the process of creating.
What's that?
Tupperwares, oh my goodness, they're the most convenient way to store all your extra food and organize your refrigerator. And guess what? We can even change the colors on the lids. So if you want to color coordinate stuff in your refrigerator, we got that. Now, I know you realize you didn't need these because you were so used to just putting the pots and pans in the refrigerator.
Sure was.
But now that you're introduced to the Tupperware, your life will be changed forever. You will never have no pans and pots cluttering your amazing refrigerator, taking away from the abundance of space that it was initiated.
You need that space.
That was created through that refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
So, when is the last time you had some great Tupperware like this in your life?
I don't own any Tupperware.
Oh, now you do. Boom, there you go. Now she has Tupperware. So now, as she continues to create magic in the kitchen and create these goodies that just really bless people's taste buds, she got some Tupperware to give them out in. Mm-hmm. She got plenty ways to store her food. If she want to make somebody a to-go situation, she can do that. But she wouldn't have been able to give her whole pot and pan out in the beginning. Because, like, you giving away pots and pans, that's going to add up pretty quickly, huh? You giving away your...
I need those, no.
Yeah, like...
They don't never bring them back, either.
So they just run off on your pots and pans. But see, you won't be mad if they run off on the Tupperware.
I will be mad. I need these back, too. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess you got to bring the Tupperware back, too. But the Tupperware is one of those things you'll be less mad if they run off on the Tupperware than they do on your pots and pans.
Correct.
So, those 4 steps was able to get the whole message across to her in a story or experience that was relatable. Now she sees the value in the Tupperware. So now she's like, oh, I need those. And I know some people that need those. But if I wasn't able to really communicate her problem, my solution, and the way we needed out of this situation, then she would have still been putting pots in the pans in the refrigerator, and I still would have had I still would have had this Tupperware with nobody to really use it, and to see the value and the beauty in what I had created, as well as her. Because with her wanting not to give her pots and pans away, she gonna be giving out brownies on napkins, and then the napkins gonna fall, and it ain't gonna be fresh, and it just a whole lot of.
Well, Dustin, go ahead and drop some examples with these bullet points, like when you identified the goal.
When I identified the goal,
like
so identifying the goal. Identifying the goal was she don't have all this clutter in the refrigerator. Identifying the goal was you can give your brownies away, and you can sell the brownies in smaller containers that people can have fresher food and snacks with.
Okay.
Identifying the goal. You don't have a lot of clutter no more.
Right.
I feel like that was a big goal.
Yeah,
because clutter you can't.
That's what I got from. That's the major goal for me. Like I need space in the refrigerator to keep processing what I'm processing. So when you express that you could give me more space like that, that was an issue that I have. So that's an easy goal solver. When you identified your audience, you already know that I love to bake. So that was exactly me. That's pretty much what I like to do.
Thanks.
When you communicated the values, obviously me keeping things fresh is a value. Me being able to keep my utensils aside from out of the refrigerator, but just with me, period. I don't have to, donate them to anybody. So when you communicate, that was a value. And then you express the need. Like the value and that need actually went hand in hand for me because I need to keep those shits.
Yeah, because you want to bake brownies every other day, and you giving out your pans is.
I do.
You can't do that because then you're gonna be always at the store buying a bunch of pans.
I'm gonna have to start charging for them. But
price went up.
Yeah, so I felt like you ran pretty much just in the communications of what I would actually naturally need as a person. You were able to just go straight down that line. Really, it seemed kind of easier to do when you're actually giving somebody something they need. When so like, hey, your feet are cold and it's cold outside. Here are some socks. It almost seems like it's just supposed to be that black and white, and probably is a lot of times. But
man. But then too, also, even just outside of saying, "Hey, I got some socks," the art of communication is letting them know that these socks right here, these socks will change your life. Because these ain't the regular socks like you just go get from the sock man in the truck. These some of them socks that have the most plush linens that have been sourced.
Why do you have to put a special spin on the sock? Because
we're special.
Okay.
And everything we do is special. Everything we touch is special. And I feel like everything that I'm a part of is special.
That's fine. Okay. Cool.
It's just a basic upsell of communication. Like to really just make it an experience. Because I feel like communication is about experiences. Because one time we had went somewhere on a trip. And the way in which she was able to communicate just that experience that we were in, it was like fireworks in my brain. So it was like, man, to be able to communicate something like that to somebody else so they really see the value in the picture that you have in your mind and now they got it in their mind. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. That right there it'll really just blow the experience away for that person that's receiving your communication. Because then they're like, I see what you're saying. I see how that's going to help.
Okay, but what do you think about when people are like, you have to meet people where they're at?
As far as?
Like communicating. Like when people are like, you got to meet them where they're at. You got to communicate with people in their...
space.
I don't know, to their capacity, I guess.
Right, and essentially we're still creating an experience because once you're able to meet them where they're at in their space, then they're still able to see, okay, I see the value in the bigger picture of what you're speaking about,
Okay.
Is that kind of what you're referring to? Like, what?
Like some people have their diction's different, or even though vocabulary is different. So it wouldn't, perhaps when I think about that, I'm thinking that people are saying maybe don't use such a wide vocabulary with certain people. They're not gonna get what you're saying. Now, that's not to change your frequency, because the energy that you want to address them with is the energy that you want to communicate in, because that's, you want to communicate in clean energy. But sometimes, you don't have to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You can just say that shit is crazy. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I think. I think that we should be able to
do all different types of languages in communication.
Yeah, you should be able to, catch the vibe, or try to be in the lingo, I guess. Meet them where they're at.
Okay, now I get what you meant when you said meet them where they're at. Meet them where they're at via language. Like, don't be speaking over somebody's head, because then you'll lose them. Yeah, because what's the point of that? No. I want you to come with me where I'm going. Like, if I want you to learn something, I want you to come with me. I'm not trying to, run ahead and then you just follow along. So I feel like that's not how you teach or lead someone. Perspective. And that's the beautiful part about communication, right? Because even though we both have the same goal, she's going to be able to articulate it differently than I will. And I'm going to be able to articulate it differently than she will. But at the end of the day, we both know we're still striving to get the same thing accomplished, which is to be able to have our point heard, overstood, and then acted on for the best of both of our futures. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So in every experience that we truly, truly go through, right, I feel like that's really the goal, to articulate whatever it is that you need to get across to whoever it is that needs to receive it, so you can get what you need out of that experience. So that's why I feel like communication is a superpower. So thank y'all for tapping in with us on such an amazing Steady Stepping Podcast episode. Make sure y'all show Ms. Brown some love in those comments. And she might be back. I don't know. I don't know. Depends on what you guys talk about on here. Maybe I'll pop back in. Yeah, maybe not. We're gonna see if she wanna flow back through the show. And peace and blessings to each and every one of y'all for tapping in with us on the Steady Stepping Podcast each and every Sunday. Here to get value, here to grow, and here to become your true visionary self that you've been envisioning for so long. I know you got it. I know you can grow it, because you are worthy, because you was worthy when you was created. And you continue to be worthy when you continue to change your language and the way you communicate with yourself. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your mama, tell a friend, and tell the dog, so all y'all can be watching the Steady Stepping Podcast each and every week, so you can be getting tremendous value and help somebody else on their journey to becoming their best self. Let's grow.